shank. Oh yes, that's a
Oh,
great
that's
shank.
like a beautiful shank. Oh, Happy Gilmore hit the range cart. Got him! Range cart. Now it's not. Am I gonna get him? Oh, I got him! So this is Sean.
One less.
Hello, Real Swing Skill Seekers. Ron Sisson, professional golf coach and president of Real Swing Golf, with another in our series of golf folklore wisdoms, the little snippets of advice golfers have given each other for centuries on end that have never once been correct. Now, this particular golf folklore wisdom was actually a very common saying in golf that started with the master ball striker Ben Hogan, who wrote a golf instruction book, very influential, called The 5 Modern Lessons, The 5 Modern Fundamentals of the Golf Swing. And in that book, he states in one of the early chapters, good golf begins with a good grip. That is partially true, but not completely true. Let me explain why. You see, back in a few years ago, the Augusta National Golf Club devised a competition for kids to get kids involved in the game, to keep the game of golf growing and promote the growth in the game of golf. And it's the Drive, Putt, and Chip Championship. Now, the young man who won in the older boys division was named as Patrick Welsh. And he hit his putts cross-handed. He hit his chip shots cross-handed. And he hit his drives cross-handed. So how in the world can this young man beat all the other boys who probably had a correct grip with his hands improperly upside down? Now you might say, well, that's an exception to the rule, and it is. But the fact is that no matter what grip you have, through a process that's scientifically called implicit motor skill learning, your brain will figure out how to get the club face on the ball both solidly for contact and relatively square for direction. Here's another example. I played in a tournament once with a young man whose grip quite literally was like this. His top hand was basically with the palm facing down to the ground and all 4 knuckles and the back meaty part of the flesh of his hand showing. You're only supposed to see 2 or 3 knuckles, right? But his entire hand was turned sideways. His other hand was equally sideways with his palm facing straight up and his thumb on the side of the shaft like this. And as he got set to hit shots on the range, as I was watching him warm up, I'm thinking, boy, this is going to be pretty interesting. He went on to win the 2-day tournament, shooting scores in the high 60s both days to win by several shots. So my imagination tells me that that grip was the product of a fellow who started golf at a very, very young age, perhaps still in diapers. And his parents probably cut down a club, probably an adult club, very short. But for a little toddler, his hands would probably have to be on the club like this just to be able to pick the club up into the air to swing it. And so probably by the time he got to be about 5 or 6 years old, and then the parents and the golf coaches started to try to change his grip, they couldn't change it. And he couldn't change it. Because anytime he put his hands where they were supposed to be, he would probably hit the ball so far off the planet to the right, because his brain had instinctively figured out with that, quote, incorrect grip, how to get the club face relatively square. So, even though his grip was completely wrong, he hit arrow straight shots like that one that I just hit. Now you might be wondering, well, how did I do that? Well, I know that my hands are completely wrong but my attention is on the club face, and with that weird orientation, just feeling how to get it into a relatively square position. So, am I saying that whatever grip you have is fine and don't worry about it? Not necessarily, especially for you slicers. If you tend to hold the club improperly where your hand is turned this way and you see the top of the grip and you don't see the back of your hand, remember that the club face is in a state of rotation, rotating facing 90 degrees to the right as you approach impact, rotates to square at impact, and continues to rotate facing 90 degrees to the left through impact. The hands and club face have to be in a position to allow that free rotation of the club face. And if your hand is over here, it's pretty hard to rotate it any further. So a way to help with your slice, it won't fix it, but to help is to, as Ben Hogan says in his book, place the fleshy part of the heel of the hand on the top of the club at the very end, make a little hook shape with your fingers, and as Ben illustrated in his book, when you're holding it correctly, you can let go with your other 3 fingers and balance it between the fleshy part of the pad of the hand on top of the club and the fingers underneath. Now your hands are in a position to encourage and allow that club to turn over. Because if you're slicing, it's basically due to your club face coming in open. So if you can encourage your club face to rotate and turn through impact, that will help bring it around to square. So now the problem is when you attempt to change your grip, if you're used to this and somebody puts it over here so you can see the knuckles and you got the heel of the hand on top, etc., your brain's going to be going, oh, my hand feels funny, my hand feels funny, my hand feels funny. So that's distracting from hitting the ball. So if you make a change to your grip and you get it in a more traditional, quote, correct position, if your hands feel funny, you're also going to have a tendency to tighten up. And that is a number one no-no, because as soon as your hands tighten up, if you take a club and you hold it really firm and tight and do this with it, your brain will be sensing or feeling as if the club is this great giant long iron rod with no sense or awareness of the club head. When your hands are relaxed, your brain senses that you have a very lightweight stick with a very heavy mallet at one end of it. Because if you took a golf club apart and felt the parts of it, the shaft is feather light, there's nothing to it. The grip isn't a lot heavier than the shaft. All of the weight of a golf club pretty much is concentrated in the club head. So if your hands are soft and relaxed, you can feel the club head's weight, and you can feel the path it's on, which makes it easier to pass it accurately through the ball. So when someone changes your grip, if your hands turn into vices, as good as your grip might be technically speaking, it's not going to do you a hill of beans worth of good, because now your hands are like vices and you can't feel your club head. So if you're making a grip change, get your hand in the new, more correct position. You'll probably feel your hands tighten up. So soften them. Make sure that they stay in the right position, but stay very, very soft. Then try and hit the ball. Now, if while you're swinging your brain goes, oh, this feels so weird, I can't. If it feels so weird to you that you can't swing, there's not much point in doing that grip and trying to hit balls at the same time. It's not going to help you. So the thing to do is to practice your grip at home while you sit watching your favorite Netflix. Well, it's hard to do in the Netflix, there's no commercials. But if you're watching regular network television, every commercial, bring the club up while you're sitting, go through the process of getting your hands into a proper grip position, just repeat it over and over again for weeks or months at a time. Eventually you'll get like me, where I've reached grip mastery, which means I don't even think about how to grip the club. I just put my hands on the club, and as you can see, they are quite technically correct, even though I'm not going through a step-by-step process. It's just a part of me now. I've gripped this club this way since I was a little boy, 10 or 12 years old. So a correct grip only helps you once you've reached a state of mastery, so your grip is correct, but you're completely unaware of it and it feels totally comfortable and natural. So the most important part of the grip is not necessarily the grip position, but the grip pressure. So even if your grip isn't exactly right, it doesn't really matter. Here's a couple of professional examples. Dustin Johnson, former world #1 player. He's got a very, very strong top hand grip, which is his left hand, and his right hand's fairly strong too. Now, everything about traditional golf instruction would say that Dustin Johnson would draw the ball from right back to left or hook it if he makes a mistake. But Dustin's favorite shot is that 350-yard bomb power fade right down the middle. So the grip positioning isn't the key issue, but grip pressure is. Another example is Jordan Spieth. Opposite of Dustin Johnson, he actually has a little bit of a weak grip. So his hand is turned a little bit this way. He kind of has this sort of strange way his right hand grips it. He doesn't really have a V shape. He kind of clenches it like that. That's the grip he had when he was about a 10 or 12-year-old boy. And his coach, McCormick, I think is the last name. Can't think of the first name. Cameron McCormick. He was thinking about changing his grip and changing Jordan's semi-unorthodox swing. And then he thought, nah, better leave this kid alone. Thankfully he did, because Jordan now, with that bent arm, bowed wrist, chicken wing through there, he almost won all 4 majors in a year back in 2015. So it all boils down to developing a sense of club head awareness so you can get the club head in the ball, and club face awareness so you can get the club to be relatively square. So is the grip positioning important? Yes. And it's a good idea to take the time to get your hands in a good position. But whether your grip is a little bit strong, a little bit weak, or somewhere in between, the most important principle is having good grip pressure. When your hands are soft and relaxed, it allows you to feel this club head, which then allows you to swing club head, free, fluid, fast, and strike ball with swinging club head. Now that was weird. Because in the middle of my goofy swing there, as I swung back, I felt my ankle give way, so it distracted me from hitting the ball. So let's try that one again. There we go, much better. So, as you can probably tell, I don't take golf too seriously, and neither should you. Golf is all about having fun. So, light grip pressure and swing club head freely, fluidly, fast. And strike ball with swinging club head. And if you want to find out more so you can develop your skills, check out my Real Swing Golf Keep It Simple Swing Program Part 2 video, available for purchase on my website. And keep it real. Tired of tying yourself in knots trying to think your way through your swing with swing positions and swing thoughts? Tired of constantly trying to track down which body part did what wrong this time to cause your latest bad shot? What you may not realize is that a body-focused swing mechanics approach is not only not the solution to your ball striking problems, it is in reality the cause of your problems. What if you could hit longer, straighter shots with much greater consistency without having to think about complicated swing mechanics at all? And have your swing mechanics improve without you even knowing it? Well, now you can. When you purchase the Keep It Simple Swing Program Part 2, the Science of Simplicity digital download video, you'll discover the natural motor skill learning process that enables tour pros and high-level amateur golfers to develop what we at Real Swing Golf call the 2 critical club head skills. These skills are the secret to consistently long, straight shots.
Okay.
You'll learn how a body-focused approach not only prevents you from tapping into this natural motor skill learning process, ironically, this mechanical swing thoughts approach is the cause of almost all of your bad shots. With our proven Real Swing Golf method of instruction, you'll improve your swing mechanics naturally without any mechanical swing thoughts.
How many mechanical-oriented swing thoughts are you using?
0.
None.
But wait, there's more. Want to get rid of that pesky slice?
All right, I've seen enough of that slice, so I'm going to help you try and fix it.
You'll learn the technique that enabled my student to fix his slice in less than 2 minutes.
Oh my goodness, that's farther than mine goes. And pretty straight with a tiny fade. Ah, this one's even got a little bit of a draw.
That's crazy.
Holy smokes, and you get that like 180?
So what are you waiting for? See the description box below to order The Science of Simplicity, the Keep It Simple Swing Program Part 2 digital download video today.